Hey guys, it's Nana, and today I'm going to be talking about the books I read in May. So I read a total of 6 books, 5 more than last month, so let's get into it. So after reading A Little Life, I was in the mood for light, easy, happy reads, quick. So the first thing I picked up was a book that I got on Independent Bookstore Day, and that is We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda and Ngozi Adichie. I've been meaning to read this for a while, and I love this little edition, which is an essay that's adapted from her now quite famous TED Talk. So I read this little volume and then I watched the full TED Talk because I hadn't seen the whole thing, and it's just, I just 100% agree with what she says. I think in this volume she's boiled down feminism in a way that's really like easy to understand and clear and logical. Just you go girl for getting the message out there and spreading the word, and I just love her. I think she's amazing. It was really cool to see her speaking too, because I just think she's so poised and so elegant and so classy. I'm really glad I picked up this little volume, and I still have lots of her works to read, including her collection of short stories and Purple Hibiscus, and there's one more I'm forgetting. Her other novel that I haven't read yet, but I'm excited to get to those at some point. The next book I picked up was Crazy Rich Asians by Kwan, and this book was like, whoa. I gave this book 3 stars on Goodreads, but it's more like 2.5. The story is that Rachel has been dating her boyfriend Nick, and you know, they're getting serious, and it's time for her to finally meet his family. What she doesn't know is that he comes from a very, very, very wealthy family that's like high in Singapore society, so they fly to Singapore to meet them, and she's totally unprepared for their lifestyle. In some ways this book was a lot of fun. Also, it was totally ridiculous at certain points. Just the things that people say and the way that people act were kind of like, oh my god. It's definitely over the top, and I think that's a point the author's trying to make. The lifestyle of these super rich people in Singapore is over the top and crazy and excessive, and that definitely came across in this. I didn't think the writing was amazing. I didn't think the storytelling was amazing either. I especially felt that the end was very abrupt and rushed, and it was kind of like, okay. But I know that there is a sequel coming out, I want to say later this year, so maybe that he had that in mind all along and meant to leave us hanging. The next book I read was The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. This is about A.J., who owns a bookshop on a small island off the coast of Massachusetts, I want to say? I'm not sure, somewhere off the East Coast. His wife has died somewhat recently when the book begins, and he's kind of grumpy and cantankerous and kind of doesn't get along with anyone. His wife kind of softened him up, and once she dies unexpectedly, the people in the town are kind of like, we don't actually like this guy that much. But everything changes one day when someone leaves a baby in his bookshop. It turns out the mother of that baby has committed suicide, and AJ decides to raise this child as his own. Overall, I thought this was okay. I mean, clearly I like the bookseller aspect of it. There's a lot of talk about different books and different people's reading habits on the island, and the daughter that he raises grows up to love reading, and all of that is great and wonderful. But the pacing was so crazy to me. It kind of starts off a bit slowly, and then AJ finds this child, and from there it's like boom, bam, and it goes so fast. I couldn't believe it. And then the book was over, and I was like, huh? What? Huh? So I just think that could have been handled a little bit better. Also, I felt that it was very light. Significant things would happen, and then it would just kind of be glossed over, and then we'd move on to the next thing. So I guess I wanted to spend a little bit more time with certain things. Overall, I thought it was okay. It was good. And I think I gave it 3 stars. Then I read We Were Liars by Lockhart. This book was everywhere last summer, I want to say, and I did want to read it, but I heard mixed reviews, and I was like, I don't know. And then finally I was like, okay, let me read it now that the buzz has died down a bit. And, I don't know, No, I can't say that I liked it. I can't say that I liked it. So this book is about a well-to-do family, and they're all rich and beautiful and pedigreed, and they spend their summers on their own private island off the coast. Then something happens that mars their perfect little lives. So there was a lot of like hush hush, and it was like keep the secret and what's a lie, and because of all the hype I knew there was a twist, and I can't say much without giving it away, but let me just say that I was not impressed. I did not like the writing style, not my style at all. It's very chopped up, and you'll have a normal sentence and then it'll just be broken up. Each word will be broken out into its own line for no reason that was particularly apparent to me. The main narrator is she was just not compelling. Like the whole time I was trying to figure out why I should care about what was happening or her. So, I mean, it's a short read. I read it pretty fast, mostly in one sitting I want to say, but not my cup of tea. So I gave that one 2 out of 5 stars. So after that I wanted something steady and dependable, so I picked up Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie, you know, I just know what to expect from her. You know, a good solid mystery that'll keep me on my toes and that'll be an enjoyable read, and that's exactly what this was. So the title pretty much says it all. There's a murder on the Orient Express, and Detective Hercule Poirot must figure it out. And the way that she pays attention to detail is so great. At one point in the book, the detective presents 2 possible theories for who committed the murder, and he says the first one and you're like, okay, yes, it could have happened like that. And then he says the second one and he's like, and you're like, oh yes, that could have been it too. And then she makes it clear, like, it could have only have happened this way. And you're like, wow. Just the way that she's able to weave all of the details together is pretty impressive, I think. I don't think I've ever picked up one of her books and been like, this was a huge disappointment. So it's just nice to pick up something that you know you're gonna like. And then the last book that I read in May and finished on the last day of May was The Royal We by Heather Cox and Jessica Morgan. And I was so excited to read this book because I read their blog, Go Fug Yourself, which is like a celebrity fashion style blog, and they talk about what celebrities wear and kind of critique it a little bit, and they're so funny and hilarious. They're funny, but they're not like cruel when they're critiquing people, and I just enjoy their blog a lot. So I was really excited to read this one in particular because it just looked like fun, light, and a good time, and it really was. It was delightful, I thought. The Royal We is like the perfect beach read, summer read. It's just a lot of fun. So I saw it somewhere described as Kate Middleton fanfiction, and it basically is. It follows Bex and Nick, and Bex goes abroad to Oxford to study for a summer, and there she meets Nick, and it turns out that he's the Prince of Wales and the future King of England. So it's basically their love story and how they get together and challenges that they face. I thought it was a lot of fun. I was definitely chuckling aloud at some points. Like, I thought it was funny, and I really liked the cast of supporting characters. I mean, they're the 2 of them, you know, who fall in love, but they're also their friends, and it's interesting to see how they all interact, and I really felt like I got a sense of their group of friends. I'm not like a huge Kate Middleton fan or anything, and in this particular case I thought it was interesting to imagine what it would be like to be a normal, a regular commoner, and to fall in love with a prince and then be introduced to that lifestyle and all the restrictions that imposes and how it would affect your friends and your family. And I think if you were really into Kate Middleton, you might like it even more. So this was fun, perfect way to close out the month, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. That is everything that I read in May. So I've got 2 read-along buddy reads planned so far for June. One of them is The Buried Pyramid, which I'm going to be joining in the read-along hosted by Katie. So I've got that all set up and ready to go. And then the other one is I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith, which I'm going to be buddy reading with a few booktube buddies, so that should be fun. Before I forget, there is still 1 whole week left to enter my giveaway, so if you haven't done that already and you want to, check out the link below for details. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'd love to hear about what you read in May or what you plan to read in June. And if you want to talk to me elsewhere, I am on Goodreads, Twitter, Instagram. I'll leave my link down below, and that's everything. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!